welcome back to Wild Card Wednesday. Today I'm going to be creating a sympathy card. One of our friends' fathers passed away, and unfortunately we have to have those kind of cards, and I don't have any cards left in my stash. So it's a card that I saw a while back in a card magazine, and I can't remember which one it was, so I hope I can remember it. But anyway, you're going to cut a piece of cardstock, whatever color you want, 5.5 by 5.5 inch square. I just happen to have 6-inch envelopes, so that will be perfect. And then you're going to take a print a little bit, a subtle print that you think might go nice, and cut a 1/4 inch smaller. So that will make it 5.25 inch square. Your next piece is going to be 4.5 inch square. And these will all be mounted down by 4.25 inch. So you have printed piece, solid piece, printed piece, solid piece. And then each mat goes down by 1 inch. And then the printed piece goes down by 1/4 inch of whatever size the mat was. And then the sentiment is going to go on here. Now, all of these aren't really blended in together very well, so I am going to take Kiwi Kiss by Stampin' Up, and I'm going to sponge the edges, not ink them, but sponge them, with a Stampin' Up sponge. I cut mine in little pieces like this, and sponging sometimes gives it a little softer of a look, and it tones down some of that brightness. Now, for our sentiment, look at my brand new mat. I vowed I would keep this thing clean. I have scrubbed it, but doing so much mixed media, it's almost impossible. And then I forget to put paper down, But anyway, I'm going to show you what I did for the center of the card. So this is the stamp I'm using. Very pretty hydrangea. So because I had all those colors in there, I wanted to try to create some kind of a watercolor effect. So what I did is I lightly stamped. I'm using, what kind of blue is this? I think this is, it's a turquoise blue anyway. And lightly stamp the top part and a little bit of the leaves with that blue. Then I took my other stamp set, and I know you're not supposed to mix colors, but you know me. This is the Monica Techniques, And then I just kind of pressed more on the leaf side, but a little bit of the top part's going to get inked as well. So we'll move those aside, and we'll move our little sentiment card aside. And then I'm just going to gently, really a small amount of water. There's hardly any water in here, you can see that. Then I'm going to take this. Let me wipe off my watery mess here. This has a little bit more water on it than I want it to, so I'm just dabbing a little bit of the water off there. And I'm going to take my sentiment piece, take my stamp, and just place it down there, and then just press it and lift it off. And you see how you get a soft, very soft watercolor effect of a hydrangea? It's so pretty. And it blends in the two colors of the papers that we're using. Then I also, the printed papers that I used for inside of the solid, I took a little square. I made one bigger than the other. So I made a square, and then I cut it in half. So I made a triangle out of it. And what I'm just making is a photo corner. So I'm going to glue this little tiny piece here inside of that piece. And it's going to be placed on the corner like so. Like so. It's going to be glued in the corner. And then the sentiment I stamped Sharing in Your Sorrow, and I used the Kiwi Kiss, and I just stamped it here in the corner. sharing in your sorrow. Okay? So I'm going to put this all together and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So the stamp set that I'm using is called Because I Care, and I just used that flower there. It has some pretty nice, thoughtful little stamps, even those little border ones. So that's what I used, and the ink that I used was Tempting Turquoise. That was the turquoise one, and Kiwi Kiss. So I've got all of my pieces sponge. You see how it's different? It just tones it down so much, because I don't want a sympathy card that's just screaming out at you. So before I mount these down, I'm going to tie some green seam binding around this piece here with this one that had the blue on it. Hang on. Can you see the difference? Like, this is with it inked, that's with it not, with it sponged. And also, I turned this paper over while I was inking. I thought I was going to use this side originally. Then I flipped it and decided to use the other side. And then as I was inking it, I like this way better. I just think it complements it so nicely. So with those three like that, I love the way it looks. So I'm going to tie this around here and then just tie a bow over on this side. So here is our finished card. It's quite easy to do, but I think it's very, very lovely. It's the friend of ours who lost their father. It is a male friend and his wife. So I think it's very soft, but yet still masculine, you know. So I mounted these on top of each other with foam tape, so you can see there's a bit of dimension there. And I love using the seam binding ribbon, because your bows don't have to be absolutely perfectly perfect, and I love the crinkled effect of the seam binding. So I hope you guys enjoyed this card, and we will see you next week, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.